exhausting. And so you keep a grudge. And you keeping a grudge maybe against someone who has no idea. And so I pray and I plead that if it's possible, kindly have very open communication during this time. Another stressor could be conflict resolution situations. And families do get into conflicts. It's quite normal all over the world. But how they resolve those conflicts matters a lot. And so sometimes I say there are times to just allow another person to win, especially when you find there's no winning for me here and there's no point of even fighting here. Some battles you don't have to fight, you can always let go. There's some battles where you need a compromise, maybe whoever is compromising and at what level and for what. And there are times I always say the best conflict resolution strategies is mediation, a 50-50 win. You know, I win, you also win. So none of us loses. And in that way, we're able to be left at a level whereby you and I can continue our conversation, can continue relating at a level where I respect you respect me, at a level where I think about your needs, you're also thinking about my needs, a level where everybody feels that their humanity has been treated with dignity, and where we find if it's about home, conflict related to family, we are able to get the most appropriate, relevant, suitable, and fair judgment for all. And so I pray that you can also use mediation during this time, so that everybody is a winner and none is gonna be a loser. Well, I know I'm gonna do this in 2 parts, but for now, I would encourage you. First, know your stressors at this particular moment during Christmas season. Second, ask, how does this stress affect me? And so you can be able to identify whether it is stress, it's exhaustion or burnout, or it is depression. And with stress, I add there anxiety, I add panic there, I add fear there, you know? The best way you can understand it. And maybe the other thing you may need to ask yourself is this stress, how it affects me as a person. I look at my physical well-being. How has it affected me physically? Am I having headaches? Am I feeling my body's aching? Am I having a bad stomach? Am I having severe headaches, joint ache, aching joints? Whatever it may be physically, identify. The other one is emotionally. And I always tell people there are those 5 big emotions you can always even dissect. We have fear, we have worry that can be part of fear, and can also be part of anxiety. We talk about guilt. Probably you feel so guilty over something you did and you feel like you've not been forgiven, or you feel like even if you ask for forgiveness, it's like it hasn't come through. You still feel like there's something that is still hanging in the balance. Sometimes it could be anger, and I always tell people who feel angry, you always have a thought that it wasn't fair. And so all situations that you're looking at during this time of anger, and especially anger outbursts, there's an inner voice that is telling you it wasn't fair. And I want to tell you, it has never been fair every now and then. And so that's just the way the world is. And those people that accept it is not always fair, they have an easier time, especially adjusting to situations that are quite unpleasant. And sometimes you may just find yourself having a mixture of emotions, like you're neither here, you're not there. And that has a lot to do with anxiety. And anxiety can really turn around your way of life, your way of thinking, and your way of relating with other people. And emotionally, in very many cases, connects so well with your social maybe life. Because if I'm angry, that's the same thing I'm going to take to my relationships. If I'm afraid, it's kind of projecting what you have or what you're feeling and sensing to other people. And so many a times you find the relationships that you ought to hold so dear, relationships that you or maybe to celebrate during this time, or to actually enjoy, you are actually not enjoying those relationships. And so I've talked about physical, I've talked about emotional, coupled that with social well-being, and especially your distance between you and others. And in most cases, when we are stressed, we want to create a bigger distance rather than when we are not stressed. You can also think about your cognitive or your psychological well-being. And if I specify on cognitive, it's how your mind is working, what are your thoughts processes like? Are you having negative thought processes, and how are these negative thought processes affecting you? Are you forgetful most of the time? Are you not having enough sleep? And when you don't have this enough sleep or disturbed sleep, it is marked with nightmares, dreams that are formless. They're actually not real dreams that come from real anxiety. And in most cases, I want to tell you, especially in Africa, when you go back to your family of origin, and especially if you grew up in an abusive environment, you may find when you go back there, you're dreaming, you're having those nightmares, and they're making your sleep very disturbed, disrupted. And the next thing you accumulate is anxiety within your body, restlessness, and you really feel so impatient. You want to go back home immediately. You want to go back to the city immediately. And so I would encourage you to also look at your life as far as stress is concerned, in terms of your cognitive abilities and functioning. And I always say that there's nothing really worth your peace of mind. But when your thinking is irrational, that becomes a very, very powerful, intrusive demon, I would want to say, into your everyday peace. And so I say your cognitive functioning should also be monitored. You may find that in terms of the spiritual well-being, even when we talk about Christmas season, when we should be singing and making merry and saying, yes, a Savior is born, you may realize there are people, because of all what is surrounding them, that is quite stressful. That doesn't actually make sense at all, at all. They feel like this world has no hope. They feel helpless. They lose meaning in life. Kindly, when you get there, I would like you to know none of us came into this world with meaninglessness. We came into this world with meaning. And all we need to do, even in that emptiness, even in that loneliness, we can be able to set aside some peaceful, quiet moments. And in that stillness, we might be shocked to find meaning. And so it's not always about merrymaking during Christmas season. It can even be spending time with me in peace and quiet, and discovering me in a deeper way, discovering who I am, why I am here, discovering how I can be useful to another soul, how I can be helpful to another human being. So it's not just about making merry. It could be a rebirth of your own life, a rebirth of your own dreams, a rebirth of the whole of you. It could be a moment of making a difference to the lives of those people, especially the less fortunate in the society. It could be a moment to just relax. You've been working the whole year. You've been working. And maybe you decide it's time to rest. It could be a project you started, and this project is taking a little bit too long, and this could be the moment of completing that project. So, all is not lost. I hope you can remember what I said. That should you get stressed, should you get distressed, should you get traumatized, should you get burnout, there is a way your body reacts. And I have mentioned those areas. You need to track them. You need to scan what has happened physically to your body because of this stress, what has happened to you emotionally because of this stress, what has happened to you psychologically, cognitively because of this stress, what has happened to you socially because of this stress, what has happened to you spiritually because of this stress, and finally, your moral status. Stress can make you go out of your moral boundaries. Like we've had people, they don't drink alcohol, they don't do spirits, they don't do wine. But during this time, because you have so much stress and you hear people saying they drink their sorrows away, they drink their stress, their anger away, and you find yourself getting there. And by getting there, maybe for you, you're not wired for it. And so you may end up messing, you may end up driving carelessly, you may cause accident, you may fight. And sometimes, especially those people who do these things outside the home compound, you end up lying, or you get so late in some place where you think you're having fun and you're like, I just want to dip my sorrows here in this pub, and especially for men in Africa, it's easy to find them running to the pubs than women. And when you get a phone call, you go line how you're taking care of a friend, how you're with old-time friends, how you're fixing something, and maybe that is not you. You have started using defense mechanisms that are basically not you. Or in situations whereby during festive season, people are stressed out because they lack money, and you find yourself calling people. You find yourself calling people to get money. You find yourself maybe taking, like in my country, we have loans that you can get like that from just a click of a button with our mobile facilities or service providers. And so you find yourself putting yourself into debts. There are some I have seen, if they have access to their loved ones' pins, they get these loans against their registration, which is quite kind. Sometimes maybe you have the Visa card or the credit card, and the pin, especially for spouses, and you use this money. And you basically say, how would I do that? And you're the one, because maybe somebody can see you have a new shoe, you have a new dress. There's a way you have to be caught. Have you become that? Or in very simple situations, maybe others don't see you joining them and you just go lying that you're feeling sick, you're tired. But basically, what is happening to you is that you are stressed. You are in distress. So kindly, it is to accept. And I've always talked about mindful self-compassion as we come to the close of our session today. It's normally as simple as sitting quietly wherever you are and taking a deep breath, holding it a little and releasing it. Take another one. Hold a little. Release. Remembering that you're not alone. There are many other people in the world that are feeling lonely, are feeling angry, are feeling left out, are feeling financially depleted. It's common humanity to feel this, so you're not alone. And by accepting this is common humanity and I'm not alone, it becomes an easy space for all of us. I want to take this chance to wish all of you, my friends, my followers, my family, my colleague clinicians, my mentors, not forgetting Miriam from Germany, not forgetting Chris Gama, not forgetting great ones here back home, Helen Macharia, CC, Professor Chepchiang, not forgetting my great family, my family of origin, Rose, John, Jane, Shiro, and all the others. It is worth to be happy. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. Susan Gitau. Asante sana. I would like you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. Susan Gitau, where you will access mental health tips every week, every month, every year. Thank you.